All right, M Sports Crew, we are back. Once again, it's week one. We are here. Let's get into this next game. We have LSU versus Clemson. We know this is in my opinion, one of the biggest games of this week based off of both teams ranked playing each other outside of Ohio State, Texas, Notre Dame, Miami. LSU, Clemson is one of those games that I look forward to watching. So just thinking about last year, Clemson, offensively, they were ranked 12th. They passed an average of 278 yards. They rushed for a total of 173 yards a game. Defensively, they were ranked 68th. Now, that sticks out to me a lot just based off of the amount of talent they have coming back and being ranked 68th nationally. That's a red flag to me. But they gave up passing 213 yards a game. They allowed 160 yards rushing. I'm going to get more to that defense later, but I just wanted to put that out there. LSU, offensively, they're ranked 25th. They pass the ball a lot. They pass over 315 yards a game. They rush for 116 yards a game. So we know they love to pass it. They didn't really have much of a run game last year. And defensively, they're ranked 60th nationally. They weren't great either. They gave up 224 yards passing, and they allowed teams to run to 140 yards a game. So they also struggled defensively as well. So just thinking about Clemson, obviously, these last 2 years in their season openers, they have lost. 2024, they lost to Georgia. 2023, they lost to Duke. So if I'm LSU, I'm thinking about that as well. They also struggled last year against SEC teams. They lost to South Carolina at the end of the season. They lost to Texas, obviously, we know, in the playoffs as well. And once again, that defense was struggling to stop the run. Jadon Blue had over 146 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Quintravion Wisner had 110 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. And collectively, they allowed the team to rush for 292 yards. That's a major red flag. If Clemson wants to get far into the playoffs and win a national title, they have to stop the run. If they cannot do that, they're not winning. Unless they're in shootouts, it's not happening, in my opinion. So just thinking about Clemson offense. Now, we know they lost Phil Maffa. They had to replace that running back. He had over 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. So you're going to have to replace that. According to PFF, they have the number one offense coming back. According to PFF, obviously, Cade Klubnik, we know who he is. He's the number one quarterback according to them. They have a top 10 ranked wide receiver group. Obviously, with Antonio Williams, he had over 900 yards, 11 touchdowns. Bryant Wesco Jr. had over 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. TJ Moore, he had over 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. They also bring in the transfer Tristan Smith, 6'5" guy. Look out for him. I believe he's transferring from Illinois State. So that's another guy they have already on top of the 3 guys they have. So I think their wide receiver group is going to be really good. I don't have the issue with the wide receiver group. It's going to be the question is, can they run the ball? Obviously, having to replace him with Jay Haynes and the true freshman coming in, Gideon Davison. So I'm really curious about, can they run the ball? Obviously, we know Cade Klubnik is also a dual threat quarterback. He can run as well. He had over 400 yards rushing last year on the team. So if they can run the ball and stop the run, Clemson is going to get very far into the playoffs and possibly into the national title. Now, defensively, this is what we're going to get into. PFF has them ranked 3rd defensively. Obviously, they have a top 10 defensive line with Peter Woods, TJ Parker. Peter Woods, he had 18 tackles, 18 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. TJ Parker had 34 tackles, 11 sacks, 6 forced fumbles. They have a top 10 ranked secondary coming back with Avion Terrell. He had a great season last year. He had 45 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 12 PDs. And they have a top 10 linebacker room. Obviously, we know they lost Barrett Carter, but they bring back Wade as well. They also have some transfer guys they bring in as well. Will Held, the edge from Purdue, he's coming in, which I thought was a great pickup. Now, we know when it comes to Dabo Swinney, he's not big on the portal. So I believe he only had like 4 or 5 people come in. If he's bringing guys in, he knows they're important. He's not one of those guys. He believes in development, which has paid off so far. And they also bring in Jeremiah Alexander, linebacker from Alabama as well. And like I said before, they bring in Tristan Smith, the wide receiver from Illinois, 6'5", 205 pounds. So, once again, just thinking about those things, as far as Clemson, what they bring back, my biggest question for Clemson in this game is their defense. Can they stop the run? Giving up rushing, allowing teams to rush for 160 yards a game, that's an issue. As good as Peter Woods is, TJ Parker is, the hype that they have with this defense, with those guys, they have holes that can be exposed if LSU just can run the ball. We know they didn't run the ball as much last year, but if they can expose Clemson by running the ball, they can win this game, right? That's one of those things. Now, thinking about LSU, We know in season openers, they have struggled for the last 4 years. They lost last year. Then 2024, they lost to USC. 2023, they lost to FSU. 2022, they lost to FSU again, Florida State. And 2021, they lost to UCLA. So if I'm a Clemson fan and I'm a Clemson team, I'm thinking about that. Like LSU, for whatever reason, they struggle in the season openers for the last 4 years. So that's something to think about as a Clemson fan. I feel good about that. History could be on our side. Now, let's get into LSU. PFF has them ranked as the 6th offense overall. Obviously, we know with Garrett Nussmeier, they have a top 10 wide receiver room. Now, they did lose 4 offensive tackles, offensive starters, so that's a red flag for me. I'm curious to how that offense is going to be. They also lose the wide receiver tight end Mason Taylor. They lose C.J. Daniels. He transferred to Miami. But they got some transfers in on that offensive line that they had to get. Now, LSU also has the number 1 transfer portal according to 24/7. So Brian Kelly is all in. They are all in. They got Braylon Moore from Utah. Offensive line, Josh Thompson from Nebraska. They got a wide receiver, Destin Hill from FSU. They also got another guy from Oklahoma. Sharp, offensive line, Nick Anderson, wide receiver, Oklahoma as well. Barian Brown, wide receiver from Kentucky. He's a speed guy. They got Darian Green, the tight end from Texas A&M. So they brought in a lot, and that's just on the offensive side. I didn't even get to the defensive side yet that they brought in as well. So just think about those things. Wide receiver, their leading wide receiver going into this year is probably going to be Aaron Anderson. He had over 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. So with those bringing in those wide receivers and the transfer portal was important, and that tight end as well. The question for me for LSU offense is going to be that question about the offensive line and can they run the ball? They didn't run the ball. They were a passing team. Like I said, they passed for over 315 yards a game. So can they run the ball? They have Kanan Durham. He had over 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. And can this true freshman come in? Harlem Berry, the number 1 running back coming out of 2025 class. Can he make an impact? That's going to be the question. Now on the defensive side, all right, they brought in a lot of transfers in. Bernard Gooden, the D-line from South Florida. A.J. Halsey, the safety from Houston. That was a great pickup. They get Tamarcus Cooley from NC State. Patrick Payton, the D-end from FSU. They get Mansur Delane, the cornerback from Texas or Utah. I forgot. Jake Pyburn, the edge from Florida. Jakeem Jackson, the cornerback from Florida as well. And Jamari Butler, the edge from Nebraska. And obviously, we know the recruit they got from DJ Pickett. So, with all that being said, let's get into the keys of this game. So, for LSU to win this game, they have to run the ball. Keep Cade Klubnik off the field, right? That will be my strategy. They struggle against the run. They will have to prove that that their defensive line can go against our offensive line. We're running the ball. Or they can go with the strategy of, like, let's get into a shootout. If we can put up points, and Clemson has to put up points as well. We just getting down. We're just passing it. They have to stop us. You could get into a shootout as well. Defensively, they need turnovers. With Cade Klubnik, you want to get turnovers and keep Cade Klubnik in the pocket. Do not allow him to get outside that pocket. If he does, he's running. He's very mobile. He's proven that he can run the ball. And also force them, in my opinion, they will have to beat me running, not throwing. All right? So this is really going to come down to those secondary against Clemson wide receiver room. Obviously, they got to recruit DJ Pickett. We'll see if he plays, but that's really what's going to come down to, that defense. Can they get turnovers? Now, for Clemson, we're running the ball. All right, run the ball. Keep Garrett Nussmeier and that offense off the field. That will be my strategy. Keep control of the game. Keep the clock running down. Because, in my opinion, LSU is going to try to pass the ball a lot. If they don't have a run game, they don't show that they can run it, they're going to pass it. Defensively, force turnovers. Get your crowd into it. You're at home where you want to be known as the real Death Valley. So that's what it is. Force LSU to run the ball, get turnovers. Don't let them pass the ball as well. And pressure Garrett Nussmeier. He's not as mobile as Cade Klubnik. He's in the pocket. So you want to get pressure on him, but get turnovers. In the end, I'm giving the slight edge to Clemson because I just don't know what LSU is. And based off their history, they don't do well in season openers for the last 4 years. I don't know what their offensive line is going to be. I don't know if they can run the ball. Now, if they can run the ball, they can make this a game. But I'm going to give the edge to Clemson just based off of their offense a little bit more, and their defense should be a lot better than LSU. I don't know what LSU defense is going to be just yet. Sometimes you can just beat a team at the right time. So I'll give Clemson the edge, a slight edge. Put in the comments who do you have winning this game. Till next time, M Sports Crew.